Ocala.
Auto repair with personal care. We know what we're talking about. Matt Gibbs and the guys over at Sunrise Automotive will treat you right. We'll treat you right.
5 minutes after 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Matt Gibbs is here from Sunrise Automotive and Crossroad Auto Sales. If you have a question about your car or somebody else's car, the phone number is 622-9622. And, of course, our advice is take your car to Matt. Sometimes talking about it on the radio gets a little bit of it done. I guess somebody could fix something on their own if you had enough information. But me, I would rather go to you. You know, it's funny. Good morning, Matt. First of all, how you doing?
Morning.
It's funny, you and I don't know anything about cars. I mean, if I say I don't know anything, it's kind of a lie because I know something. But I know so little. So when I talk to somebody like you, I realize how little I actually know. But we do have something, the music is in common. I mean, you're a musician as well. I mean, that never comes up.
No.
It never comes up. Well, maybe because you're not doing a show about that. Maybe that's why. Do you know what I did for my very first time in New York? I rode in an Uber car.
You did?
Yeah.
Was it an experience? Was it like driving in a taxi, a New York taxi?
No, it wasn't like a taxi at all.
That's like a ride, man. That's like going to Busch Gardens and getting on a roller coaster.
Okay, so I don't know. I mean, because I'm from New York, so the old way of doing it was simply saying, "Hey, I'm here," and stop and pick me up. So my son has his phone, and he says, "Okay, there's one on the next block over," and he calls it, and he says, "All right, it'll be here in 30 seconds." I said, "Really?" And then there's like 100 cars. He said, "That's our car right there." I said, "How do you know that's our car?" I didn't quite understand how he knew which was our car. Then you get in the car, and this is the part I want to tell you about. Not how you get it, but when you're in the car, and I'm sure you see these. I'm sure it's not because it's an Uber car. It's just that I'm not in any new cars lately. And so in the dashboard, there's a TV. And every time, and you know New York traffic, they can get close to other cars. Every time he's close to another car, a camera comes on the side that he's close to and gives him these lines, yellow and red lines. And if it's yellow, you're close, but not too bad. If it's red, you're too close. I don't know how close you have to be in the red line, but have you ever, and same thing with backing up.
Right.
There was the camera in the back came on. I don't know where the cameras are mounted. I couldn't see them.
Oh, the ones on the side are typically mounted in the mirrors, the outside mirrors, and then the one in the back is usually right above the tag bracket.
So do you have people with these?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So now we can see how close we are to everything. But they only came on automatically. I mean, he wasn't switching to it. He would just pass a car, and all of a sudden I'd say, "Whoa, look at it right there." I mean, we're close. You could look out the window and see it.
Well, it's kind of like a motion sensor. So if it gets within a certain parameter, it turns it on, it picks it up.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
It's amazing considering how many cars are on those streets and how fast they really go. Not that fast, really, but by considering.
Yeah.
And how few wrecks we saw. I think I saw one wreck, and it was minor, very, very minor.
Did they even stop, or did they just keep on going?
No, they stopped,
Okay.
yeah. I think somebody backed into somebody else is what it was. But anyway, so I had my first Uber experience. And I think my son had 4 Uber rides, mostly because Dad's feet were getting tired.
When we go to New York City too, those double-decker buses.
Yeah.
Because like you can buy a ticket for the bus, and it's good all day long. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, Robin said she did this. Yeah,
and you can get on and off, and the hard part is figuring out getting on a bus that's going in the direction you need to go.
You want to go someplace?
Right.
Yeah. I didn't know that.
We try to.
I'm going to do that one day.
We've gone to New York City several times, and tried to experience transportation in all sorts, like flying in a LaGuardia and then taking the A train to Broadway or something. And just see the experience of it. It's all these people get on these buses and on these trains, and they just sit there. and they're like in their own little world.
Yeah.
You know, it's not that. Everybody's crammed together. It's just weird.
They are in their own little world, but not when I'm in there because I talk to everybody.
Yeah, I do too.
Do you really? Yeah. My son didn't like that. Did your family not like when you talk to people?
No, they didn't care. But some of the people that you try to talk to, sometimes you talk to them, sometimes you try to talk to them.
Yeah, right.
And you pick up real quick if they want to talk or not. Or I think a lot of people still napping and stuff. You know? They just sit there and they close their eyes and they're still in bed.
Do you know there was a story in the news that the nation of Germany does not want Tesla to be calling their cars autonomous because it's misleading. I think that was the word that they don't want them to use because they're not autonomous. You told me something about this. There's autonomous and there's.
That wasn't me, brother.
Oh, it wasn't you?
No. It wasn't. I'm not.
But they don't want people. I guess the gist of the story was that we as people are being misled to think we don't need to drive the car, and we still do.
Oh, absolutely.
You have a phone call. Good morning. You're on the air with Matt.
Morning, guys.
Hey.
Hey, you guys talking about public transportation. Unfortunately, I've several times gone to Europe in different countries, and it's surprisingly with public transportation how one country is different from another, where in one country you get on a bus or a train, whatever, and everybody's yakking away like it's no. In the next country you go to, it's like you're afraid to look at somebody. You know, it's unbelievable, the different cultures.
Yeah, and that's what it is. It's a culture. And up in New York City, it's its own culture. There's a culture there.
Right. And the reason I called is I heard something the other day that, I don't know, it's kind of weird. I want to put it across you and see what you think about it. I went to a shop the other day, and I'm taking care of I'm car sitting for my stepson who bought a 2001 Saab here a couple of months back. He's going to be out of town for a few months, so I'm kind of taking care of his car. I drive it every couple of times a week and whatever. And I noticed that it had a slight lean to when you're driving on the road. It wants to go over to the passenger side just slightly. The alignment must be a little bit set that way. And I went to a shop, a foreign car, and the guy told me, he says that some foreign cars are purposely, when they're built, are built offline a little bit like that, so that in case you slumber at the wheel, fall asleep at the wheel, you won't go across the yellow line and go into a head-on collision. You'll go over to the curb, and the curb will wake you up. Did you ever hear of anything like that?
No, that's pretty creative right there.
That's what I kind of thought.
That's someone thinking outside the box.
Yeah, because it has just a slight movement to the passenger side, but the guy says, well, maybe you were on a road that was kind of high, like most roads, high in the center. I says, no, I've got a long driveway, and it does it on a long driveway where it's very flat. And then he come across with the deal where he thought that a lot of cars in European cars were set that way so that in case you fell asleep at the wheel, you would hit the curb, not the center line.
That's pretty creative right there. I'd like to meet that guy because he got some kind of imaginations.
Well, I turned around and walked out, and I laughed to myself. And I thought, wait till I call Matt and tell him about it. He's going to have the same response. That's good. I've heard all kinds of things in the 30 years I've been doing this, but that right there that's in my top 5 right there.
Is that right? Yeah. Wow.
Would a very minor off balance or off alignment like that do a lot of tire damage, or is it worth having it straightened out? It's very minor.
Well, the thing about it is, if it's pulling a little bit to the left, it may not be an alignment issue at all. Let me tell you why. A lot of the cars today, the alignment has to be so drastically off in order to make it pull. To make it pull to the left, pull to the right. That what we find is, I would say probably close to 90% of the time, if someone comes in and is pulling to the left or pulling to the right, the first thing that we do is swap the 2 front tires. Take the left tire, put it on the right. Just swap them from side to side, take it out and drive it. Now, if the pull goes to the right, and now it's pulling to the right, well, we know it's not an alignment issue, it's a tire issue. It's that simple to kind of diagnose this thing.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so the other thing, years ago, I would say, up into the 80s and 90s, the cars, they were all being manufactured and made in Detroit and up north. The roads are different up north. So therefore, they set the alignments up different. Down here in the south, we have a heavier crown in our road because of the water. So when it rains, it doesn't let the water pool up on the road, so there's a heavier crown in our road. And being in the south, being a technician, you learn how to set the caster and camber up on cars in the south. We set them up a little bit different than we do up north.
I didn't know that.
Because of the crowns of the road. But here's another thing. You can get on 10 different roads and your car drive 10 different ways because the way that the road is being made.
Right.
So the front suspension has come a long way from the 80s and 90s to now. And now
I know that the first thing I checked, of course, was tire pressure, because many years back I had a deal where the car was going up on one side and I had hardly any air in one tire on one side there, and that was the cause of it. But that was the first thing I checked. But other than that, the tires are new on this car. They only got about 500 miles,
Yeah, but it doesn't really matter. Swap. Just take the two front tires and swap them and see if it makes any difference. That's where you need to start.
Okay, well, I thought you'd get a kick out of that story.
Yeah, that was a good story right there.
Good to buy you. Bye now.
Thank you, Hugh. All right, we'll take a little break. We'll be right back. If you have a question for Matt or just want to comment on anything you've heard us say or heard a caller say, you are welcome to call. The number is 622-9622. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accidents. Coastal flood advisories remain in effect into the evening at the beaches. Watch for rough surf and dangerous rip currents. Tuesday will start with a morning shower, otherwise a mix of sun and clouds with a high of 84 to 88. And Tuesday night will be partly cloudy, lows in the mid to upper 60s, inland 72 along the coast. Wednesday, partly sunny, high 83 to 87. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Whether you're building it up or knocking it down, get it done, rent it now. Sunbelt Rentals is here to make your job a little easier. Our knowledgeable staff will help you find the right equipment for any job, big or small. Did you know that Sunbelt Rentals carries heaters, air conditioners, generators, lighting, traffic control, and so much more? So whether you're building it up or knocking it down, we've got the equipment you need. Get it done, rent it now. And right now, for a limited time, you can have it for less. Just by mentioning this ad, if you rent it Friday afternoon, you can keep it the whole weekend and only pay for one day. But this is a limited time offer, so stop into Sunbelt Rentals today, Northwest 27th, just a quarter mile east of I-75. For more information, just give us a call, 352-369-9101. 352-369-9101. Sunbelt Rentals. Get it done, rent it now. 352-369-9101.
When you go into AutoMax, Marion County's #1 pre-owned dealer for over 15 years, you won't take the new car depreciation because AutoMax saves you thousands on late model vehicles. Browse the inventory online at AutoMaxOcala.com. Then come down to see the great vehicles and upfront pricing in person. Compare up to 60 models inside the climate control showroom. So take your time. No high pressure, no gimmicks, no games. On the corner of 17th and Easy Street. AutoMax. Quality cars, outlet prices.
Highland Memorial Park is a beautiful place, not a sad place. You know, you need to put your house in order, and Highland is the place to take care of your end-of-life issues. You have thought about it, but keep putting it off. That is just our nature. We want to protect our family, but life gets in the way. Pre-planning makes sense, but at some point, it will be too late to plan ahead. Don't put this off any longer. Call Highland Memorial Park. Make the best decisions and get it done. Call 352-369-1020. We will be there when you need us, but we would like to help you now.
If you are hearing this message and wish to lose 50 pounds permanently, then write this phone number down, 352-633-0473. Dr. Juan Jordan's office in Lady Lake is offering the first 15 callers a free metabolism and body fat analysis with a comprehensive, in-depth fat-burning consultation. You have nothing to lose. Please call 352-633-0473.
right, 19 minutes after 10 o'clock. Matt Gibbs is here, my mechanic, my car guy, the guy I go to when cars need fixing. Hey, by the way, Robin's car has a minor thing. I think I can fix this one.
Okay.
Are you ready? Want me to tell you what it is?
Yeah.
All right. So she thought she would have a radiator leak.
Okay.
And I don't know if she did or didn't, but the little plastic thing that you put water in has a little tiny, teeny, teensy, weeny little leak, and it spits out like a hair thin stream of water onto her engine. And so every day she's putting like this size bottle of water just to fill it up. And I said, "Oh, I think I could fix this. Take some epoxy and put it on there." And what do you think? Think that'll work?
It might work. It might. But if it's streaming out, so it's like that, you know.
Yeah.
Well, that means it's that. See, that particular reservoir is under pressure. Okay.
Right.
Some of them are not under pressure. Some of them are just containers.
Right.
They just hold the water and let the water expand and contract into a tank.
Okay.
But on Robin's, it's part of the cooling system. It's under the pressure.
Okay.
So if it was just the tank, just the tank, the holder for coolant to just kind of flow in and out of, you could probably fix that with epoxy. But being that it's under the pressure, the epoxy may not hold it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's under pressure.
What if I cut like a piece of plastic from a bottle and used it as a patch?
You know what? I got this stuff. I don't even know what this stuff is called. It's two parts. There's a liquid. You would almost think that it's super glue, but it's really not super glue because I've done some experiments with this stuff. And then I got carbon fiber that's it's in a powder form. And when you add the two of these elements together, oh my goodness. Brother, I'm talking about it gets like hard as a rock.
So that'll patch it better than epoxy.
Yeah, and you got to sand it and get it clean and get it rough, and then you put some of this liquid in there, and then you put some of the graphite, and then you put some of the liquid, and you put some of the graphite, and you can actually build that whole area.
Should I not even mess with it?
No, you should just buy a new tank.
Do you think I'll make it worse?
I don't think you'll make it worse, but I don't know if you'll solve the problem. You might spend an hour and glue and epoxies and and then at the end of the day it's still seeping out, and it's real important that even if it's not streaming out, even if it's just getting moist and wet, you need to replace it because you're releasing pressure. What water boils at 214 degrees, but if you put 3 pounds of pressure underneath it brings it to 220 degrees kind of thing. Right. So you don't want to have that. You don't want to have any leaking anywhere in your cooling system, especially on Robin's car, and because she's got the aluminum heads. And
Robin, we need to take your car to Matt. It sounds like
you could put a tank on if you give.
You think I can put a tank?
I think you know what I think we ought to do. We ought to do a live broadcast from the shop one day, and have Larry do something. We can have Larry fixing Robin's car next Monday's radio show. What do you say?
Listen to you. I'm afraid I'd break it. I'd be worse. It would be worse after I was done with it. It sounds like a visual moment, by the way, not a radio moment. It sounds like you need cameras.
Well, we can invite all 13 listeners to come down.
Yeah, right. So on my car, I have a little thing too. On my air conditioner switch, that thing with the fan, 3 doesn't work.
Oh, no.
Position number 3?
But 1 works, 2 works, 3's out, and 4 is full blast.
Yes. What does that mean? Nothing?
No, it means something. Bro.
Oh no! Don't tell me.
No, it's not that big a deal.
What is it?
We used to call it a resistor. We still just do call it a resistor because that's what we've always called it forever and ever and ever. But now it's a module. There's a blower module that's gone bad, and it's taking out leg number 3.
Oh, okay.
But you have to replace all the legs in order to fix that one leg.
Oh,
It's one module.
Is that expensive?
They're not that expensive. They're just kind of a pain to get into because they're actually in the evaporator case.
Oh, do I need to worry about it? I mean, I'm fine with 4 and 2.
Yeah. If you're fine with 4 and 2, you can you can just go on with it with just one, 2, and 4.
But here's the funny thing: I used to use 3 all the time because that was my preferred.
Well, that's why you burned it out, because that was
is
your
that right?
preferred. Well, it's the one that always had that voltage going through there.
Okay, so why'd they change the way they do it? That doesn't make sense.
There's a lot of things that just don't make sense. But I think at the end of the day, it has something to do with money.
Yeah, I think you're right. So another cool thing, when we were up in New York, my son rented a car because we went out to Long Island and he just wanted to drive around. So he has his little Google Play thing on his phone, and he just connects it with Bluetooth to the thing, and we're listening to whatever he's got. It's just amazing to me.
I have my music library in my phone, and I just because during the hurricane, when I got stuck in Illinois.
Yes, you did.
And
while I was in New York, you were in Illinois. Yeah.
And we got stuck.
So I drove home.
So we had to drive home.
The plane that you missed probably got home before you did.
There was no.
Oh no.
We left Illinois at like 9:00 on Thursday morning.
Right.
So we got home here in Ocala.
Oh, you came home in time for the storm.
I wanted to beat the storm.
Oh, okay.
And we got home Friday at 1:00 in the morning. And then I got up and took the rental car down to the airport because we flew out of Orlando Sanford Executive Airport there. And so I brought the rental car back there, and the police were there, and they had no power, no electricity, nothing. So it was quite a mess. So
they were at that point Friday morning. They were waiting for the storm.
Well, no, we got home Friday morning. I actually went to work Friday, and then Saturday morning I got up early and took the car back because I figured Friday was going to be just a mess,
a washout.
Yeah. And it was funny because we started getting phone calls and said, "I hope your car gets good gas mileage. There ain't no gas here."
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
You know what happened? My son's wife, who was a teacher, she was still here in Ocala, and so she went to get gas, couldn't find any, and called Alex and said, "Hey, I can't go to work. I can't find gas." And so I texted Dan and Robin, who were doing the show here, and they asked the listeners, "Does anybody know any open gas stations?" And some of our listeners called in apparently, and they texted me back, and I told Alex, so we got information from our listeners up in New York.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And then translated it, or transferred
it back here to Ocala.
Yeah. And she got up and went out to that gas station, and everything was fine.
So, we drove, I think it was 15 hours straight.
When you say did you actually share the driving?
My wife started. She drove for the first 7 hours.
Oh, okay.
And then I drove.
Are you honest with yourself when you get tired, or do you deny you're tired? Oh, that's you're denying. You deny.
Well,
I can tell.
I'm being honest. You said be honest.
Right,
so I would sometimes yes. Sometimes yes. I do deny.
I do too. I know. I do too.
But I didn't do that on this. I drove for. I mean, buddy, I was.
You were wide awake the whole time.
I was wired.
Well, good. But I have. Oh gosh, and it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing to deny tiredness.
No.
You have to
stop.
You have to say yes. I'm tired. Because you can fall asleep like that. Yeah.
Yep. I wish, and if the car had hand controls in it, I'd have had Joey driving too. I'd have made him drive.
Yeah, right. How much does it cost to put those hand controls in?
About $1,200-$1,500.
It's not cheap then. Yeah. So you'll be back before Halloween, right? Yeah, it's another week. We got more time. Do you do Halloween?
No.
Oh, you don't do it?
I don't do Halloween.
You don't do the candy part?
No.
If I bring you candy, you won't eat it?
Yeah, if you just give it to me, I will.
All right. So we have to bring Robin's car to you. Oh, no, you want me to fix her tank. What do I do? What do I do? Just buy it at the tank store? I mean,
yeah, Larry, just bring me the car.
Just buy it. How do I know which one to get? Just ask them. Hey, we need a new tank.
Yeah.
Is it really easy? What do I need? A screwdriver?
I don't really. I'd have to look at it and see. But I guarantee you could do it with my guidance, brother. If I was there to guide you along the way.
Hey, everybody in my family, and that includes the females, are more skilled at cars than me. And I have done this very thing. I've fixed my own brakes, but with guidance, with people sitting there saying, here's what you do now. Here's what you do now. So let's see, where's your music? Where is your music? Matt, what's your phone number?
My phone number is area code 352-690-1993.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Larry.
We'll be right back.
Matt Gibbs and the guys over at Sunrise Automotive will treat you right. We'll treat you right.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. Hillary Clinton supporters say there's no evidence she was involved, but Donald Trump, who's been fighting allegations of sexual misconduct, is calling it collusion. Documents showing a senior State Department official tried to get the FBI to help reduce the classification of an email from Clinton's private server.
State Department spokesman John Kirby told Fox News there was no quid pro quo.
It's a summary of an interview with one FBI employee who gave these views.
Trump and some Republicans are calling for the firing of Undersecretary for Management Patrick Kennedy.
Fox Radio's Rachel Sutherland. Days after winning the Nobel Prize in Literature, the committee still not able to reach Bob Dylan, who hasn't publicly spoken out.
The Academy's permanent secretary saying she's giving up now, but remains optimistic that Dylan will travel to Stockholm to collect his prize at the annual Nobel ceremony in December.
Fox Radio's Simon Owen. Fox News, we report, you decide.
America is taking the lead in energy.
Leading the world in oil and natural gas production. I vote to keep it going. With the right policies, we can produce, refine, and supply
more oil and natural gas.
And more abundant energy means more affordable energy for American families.
A more secure America.
Jobs, opportunity, and economic growth for our children
and grandchildren.
That's why this election,
I'm voting
for American energy.
Learn more at voteforenergy.org.
Join us and become an energy voter.
Brought to you by American Petroleum Institute.